Please tell us your name and where you're from.
Mr. Selassie from Asham Television.
Okay, thank you. Repeat the question, please, and a bit slowly so that we can all get you.
Okay. You've been telling us about the challenge that you think Africa is facing at this time. So what are the sound and clear and specific measures that you are going to take to address them?
The challenges that Africa is facing and what are the actions we can take to overcome these challenges. That's your question. Thank you for that. Let's give the microphone now to AFP. Okay.
Is there somebody for me?
Sorry, I said we take one question, we get an answer, then we take the next one. I'm not rewriting that. So let's give the candidate time to answer that question. What the challenges that he has identified that Africa is facing, what are the solutions to those challenges?
Well, so the challenges are many, as you've seen. I think the solution one is to try to promote unity among the African countries. Unity is a prerequisite to development generally. So we want to first ensure that African countries can speak with one voice, that they are united. And this unity begins first at home. To try to work with the government of the African Union to ensure that there is harmony and peace within the countries. Peace is very important, prerequisite to development. Areas where there is conflict, we want to ensure that these conflicts are brought to an end and that people can concentrate on the task of nation building in those countries. Secondly, we've got these regional groupings, what we call RECs, the East African Community, the SADC, ECOWAS, and Maghreb, and so on. We want to ensure that these regional groupings actually work properly and harmoniously, because they are the building blocks of African unity, Pan-African unity, so that whatever we are doing can be implemented through these regional groupings. I'll give you an example. You've got the issues like the issue of infrastructure mentioned. And I have been fortunate to have been the high representative of AU on infrastructure. AU has got ambitious program, what is called PIDA, a program for infrastructure development in Africa. And they've identified several projects like the Pan-African highways. Secondly, the African high-speed railway network. Then we have got the energy program across the continent. Then we have got transport, air transport, and also water transport. And then there's fiber optic connections between the capitals of the continent. Now, each of these infrastructure programs have got what they call the champions. headed by a president, champions in them. But most of those projects have not moved. Most of them have not moved. If you take, for example, the inter-African highways, there's Cape to Cairo, and then there's Tunis to the Cape, and then there is Dakar through Bamako, Khartoum to Djibouti. You've got Dakar to Lagos, Lagos to Mombasa. Then you've got the rail network from Beira in Mozambique to Lubito in Angola, and branching to Walvis Bay in Namibia. You got the high-speed rail network coming from Lagos, going through Cotonou, Benin, Lomé, in Togo, Accra, in Ghana, Abidjan, in Côte d'Ivoire, Freetown, going to Conakry, going all the way to Rabat, to Algiers, Tunis, to Cairo. Lagos to Cairo. Then you've got Lapset, the Lamu Port in Kenya, going through Juba, Bangui in Central African Republic, to Kribi in the Cameroon port, which links the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean and opens up the landlocked countries within the continent to rail transport. You've got water transport along the rivers, the Congo, the Nile, from Lake Victoria to Atlantic. All those are there, but they're just on paper. They are not being implemented. So, why are they not being implemented? That is the question that we need to answer, so that these projects can be implemented. There is open skies. This is the air transport across the continent. That makes it easier. Without effective ground infrastructure, air transport is an intermediate way of moving people and goods. Yet even there is a bureaucracy. Each and every country has got its own air traffic control system. So to fly the airspace of a country, you need permission from the National Air Traffic Control Authority. And they are not properly coordinated so that that permit can be issued within 1 hour. You can take 2 or 3 days to get the permit to fly. And even the commercial airlines that are flying are having to pay a lot of fees. You're charging somebody who flying the air and you've done nothing in that air. It's just transiting. It's stupid, because it makes it very expensive for travelers. Air transport in Africa is more expensive than it is in Europe. This is, for example, low-hanging fruits that can be harvested very easily and quickly. So I'm saying that, to answer your question, there are challenges and there are solutions. Why are we not using the solutions to deal with the challenges? Okay? So that is not for me to answer. I'm saying that I have an answer. If I'm given an opportunity to come and sit here, I will be able to move the organization to getting solutions to these problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The second question, AFP, please.
Jalango, AFP, Asante Sana Baba. There is currently growing tension between Ethiopia and Somalia regarding the signing of a MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland. What is your stance and what is your opinion on this issue? Asante Sana.
Thank you.
Well, the tensions exist between several countries. There's tension between Ethiopia and Eritrea. There's tension between Ethiopia and Egypt. There's tension between Ethiopia and Somalia because of the Somaliland and so on.